Hey everybody, welcome back to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and here on my YouTube channel. And this time out, we're picking up where we left off last week. This is part 3 of our song production, songwriting, song construction series. If you did not see parts 1 and 2, link will be in the description box below. In part 1, we recorded a basic chord idea to a scratch track, and then we got a basic drum beat together in Easy Drummer 3. And then in part 2, I went ahead and we fleshed out the whole arrangement of our song from top to bottom. And now this time we're going to replace our original guitar tracks with some better guitar tones maybe, and a better performance, and then maybe add some bass, and then we'll see where we're going to go from there. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And also, if this is your first time here, I want you to go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com because I want to give you a free mixing course. It's right on the homepage. There's a big orange button. Download it today. It's my gift to you just for visiting homerecordingmadeeasy.com. If you stick around to the end of this video, I want to give you something else for free. So parts 1 and part 2 did fairly well. A lot of people watched the video, got a lot of participation and a lot of your comments. And as I said in those videos, and I'll say here today, if you want me to continue on with this particular songwriting series and do more things like this in the future, your participation is huge. So thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and participate in the comments and let me know that you're enjoying this content. Okay, so if you did not see part 1 and 2, you should probably go watch those before you watch these. But basically here we have our song that we mapped out last week with our markers. We have our original guitar scratch track, which we chopped up and cut apart with our arranger track to arrange the different parts of our song, right? So now we didn't play the whole song from top to bottom. All I did originally was record 8 bars of verse and 8 bars of chorus, and then we used the arranger track to slice and dice that up and create an entire song track. And that can work, but as I said last time, we want to record those parts now for real, and we want to eliminate or replace this guitar scratch track. So what I do, I create myself a guitar track here underneath, kind of lowered the volume here of the original track. I can still hear it so I can play along with it, but I want to try to play a little bit better in the pocket and play from top to bottom. So that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to get out the old guitar here. And again, for people following along, I'm just using my Kemper is what I use for my guitar tones. You don't see it on camera here, unfortunately, but it's just a basic kind of a lightly Marshall-y kind of a sound. So here's kind of what we have. That's our kind of our tone here. May even want to dial down a little more gain because we're going to end up at least doubling these guitars. So I don't want this to be overly driven. That might do. That might do. We'll see how we go. Okay, so we're going to play this from top to bottom. I'm going to try to see how my headphone cord doesn't get in the way. And we're just going to record this. We're going to record this and replace the original track. So here we go. Wish me luck. Okay, there we go. So there's one guitar part. So what I'll usually do now is, we know that was played pretty good. I could pretty much eliminate this original track, or you can hide it and keep it, whatever you want to do. Let's kind of just give a quick listen and just see what we got here. Felt okay for now, good enough. Okay, good enough. Okay, so now I got a guitar track there that I think I'm going to keep, at least for now. It's at least a full performance from top to bottom. Now I'm going to double up that track. So what I'm going to try to do now is I'm going to probably pick something with a slightly different guitar tone. So I may not, you could just use the same amp and that wouldn't be a bad thing. I'm actually going to pan this first one a little bit left, and I'm going to pan the second one a little bit right, that I'm going to play over the top so I could hear it. I'm going to lower it a little bit here. But what I probably want to do is maybe change the tone a little bit. So I'm going to go to I know you can't see it here on the Kemper, but I'm going to pick, maybe try this, maybe a little different tone without all the delay. So let's get rid of the delay. Get rid of some of the verb, because we can always add the verb in mixing. Let me get a little bit of verb. Let's get a little verb here. Man, this Kemper's awfully sensitive. Still too much. Maybe 10%. That might be all right. Maybe a little bit less than that. Come on now. Now that's completely dry. Oops. There we go. Okay, so we got that. Maybe then, now this is a divided by 13 amp. The other one was more of a Marshall-y thing. Going to dial down some of the gain a little bit here. Don't need too much gain on this. Okay, so it's a little bit different of a tone. Maybe give myself just a touch more gain. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, and again, I'm just going to make this quick. I would normally spend a lot more time picking the guitar sounds, but you get the idea. Change the guitar sound. Change the guitar sometimes is one trick. Change the pickup configuration. Change the amp. Whatever you want to do. For this, because these are going to be the two main guitars going hard left and right, I don't want to go completely different. I think I'm going to keep the same guitar pickup, and just change the amp. So now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we are going to record this second part to the first part. Here we go. Don't like that. Let's try that again. I'm having a hard time with this headphone cord here. I apologize. But let's try that one more time. I could have just picked it up, but I want to start it from the beginning. So another thing is why, if you're wondering why would I play this twice as opposed to just taking that first performance if I really liked and just copied it and pasted it. Yes, the amp sound, I want it to be different from the first, as I explained, but more importantly, I want the playing to be different, because even as tight of a player as you think you are, it's never going to line up and be perfect to the first track. And those little subtleties is what's going to give it more of a larger sound. Now you can just copy and paste the track, you can do that, but I don't typically like to do that. I like to play it twice if I can. So here we go, let's try that again. Okay, so now we got 2 guitar parts. Pretty straightforward, right? Okay, so before we get to the bass here, let's just put that down. Let's just take a quick look and a quick listen, and so let's see what we got. Okay, so we'll kind of shore these up a little bit, and I could even tell when I was playing the chorus sections, I was changing up the strumming pattern on the second guitar just a tiny bit. You probably noticed it, or maybe you didn't, just so I can, again, make it a little bit different. I'm playing one hard left and one hard right for now. Let's see what we got here. If I lower this a little, let's just check it out. Okay, so there we go. So without listening to the whole song, so I want to try to keep the video kind of moving. Okay, so you get the idea. So I'll be listening to the whole song top to bottom. Go, yeah, sounds okay. We can live with that for now. Now, next thing I want to do is maybe create a bass. Or do a bass. So I'm going to duplicate track complete. Just going to duplicate the guitar track. Change the color, because I like blue. Bass. And then I'm going to duplicate that complete, just so I have a couple of bass tracks here in case I need to do some overdubbing, or you can use layers. I can maybe show you that in another video. So now, unless you have, or unless I were to have like a bass line in mind, and I don't really, I haven't really worked it out. There's a couple of ways we can do it. So what I'll probably do with something simple like this is just record a bass part, simple root notes, and then I can bring that performance into Easy Bass later on, and maybe let Easy Bass help me come up with a couple of cool bass lines and runs and things that I might not really think of, or because I'm a guitar player, not a bass player, you may get a little bit more of an interesting performance. Maybe we'll do that in the next video. But for this particular example, it's like, okay, let's lay down a bass. So we have guitars, bass. We got the drums, guitars, and bass, the basic foundation, and then I could start working on some MIDI instruments and some pads and start layering and building. So let me grab a bass here. Get my thing out here. So again, I'm just going to use the Kemper because I have some bass patches in there. And we'll get out my my Fender Mustang bass, the short scale, which I really like because coming as a guitar player, it's easier to play. Okay, so let me, I'm going to go find my bass here. And I want to pan it to the center. okay? Now we're really hot. So I want to make sure we're not too hot on this, right? So we want to turn down the recording levels. You can see we're clipping because I was setting it up for guitar. So I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Make sure we're not clipping. And you could be doing this on your audio interface, or in my case, because I got multiple things being recorded here, I'm doing it on the actual master output of my Kemper to control the level of the recording level going into Studio One. Okay, there we go. So we got something that's simple. So we're just using a basic bass patch here. It's called the bass driver scoop. It's got a little bit of hair on it from one of the bass rigs in the Kemper. It was a free profile. It'll work. It's good enough for what I'm trying to do here. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to record the bass part to this. I'm going to keep it simple. We could always do something a little bit more fancy or whatever in Easy Bass later. I just want to get something down to keep moving. So one of the things that I try to do here as I'm flushing this out and stuff is I just try to keep moving. I don't spend a whole lot of time, you know, fussing over a bunch of stuff. I just want to keep kind of going, because again, we could replace some of this stuff after if we need to, but I'm trying to build on this thing here. So here we go. So here is a little bit of this bass. We'll see if we can get through this. Okay, bass part. Pretty remarkable, because I didn't think I was going to get through that in one take. Okay, simple bass part. Again, we can, if we wanted to come up with something after, I can work with Easy Bass. There's things we can do to kind of spice it up, and we'll probably do that at one point, but I want to just get down the idea. That was the idea, is to get down the idea. Here we go. Here's what we got. Okay, so there we go. So we got a bass part, okay? So now the only section of this song that I'm still not kind of sure about is this bridge. And we talked about in the last video. Right now we're just playing over the verse section. We're playing a verse section. I got some ideas of maybe what we're going to do there later, or maybe we're going to change those guitar parts and that bass part a little bit. Might do something a little different, but it's there for a placeholder. We got the basic structure together. Now, the last thing I want to do in this video, so to keep it again keep it moving, is I want to show you the chord track and what we can do with that. So up to this point, we haven't really used it. The chord track is good for a couple of things. I mean, it's good for many things, but the two things that I tend to like it for is, number one, I can add chords here, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So I can use it as kind of a placeholder. So if I'm following along and playing my song, and let's say it's a little bit more of a complicated setup than 4 chords through the whole song, it gives me a guide of where all the chord changes happen. That's the first thing. It's a visual cue to when I'm playing and recording my future tracks. Number two, once I put the chords in here, you can take those chords and drag them onto a MIDI track, and it'll automatically play those chords in whatever MIDI instrument you choose. And again, we'll do that in another video. But let me show you what I would do here now with the chord track. So we can listen back to our guitars here, and we know it's, what is it? E, G, D, and A, right? So if I take my pencil tool here, let's just listen to where the chord changes happen. Right, so there's the first one. So it's an E chord right here. Right, so I'm going to take this, changes right there, double click, we're going to get our chord selector up here, and I'm going to choose, it's all major chords, right? E, that's right, so it's here. And then right there is the next chord. So I'm going to go to number 5 here. Oops, what did I do? There we go. Right? All right, so it's E. There's where the G kind of comes in. Split this apart a little bit. Keep this, G, right? Right there. So we'll put another chord in here. There's the next chord. I'm just clicking in there, shorten it, bring it to where it needs to go. And then this is D and A. You think I would remember that, right? We've only done it. So we got here. And once I get this together, because it's played the same way throughout the whole song, right there you can see is where it's changing to an A. So we're gonna, number 5 on my keyboard. Make sure we highlight that in A. Right, so it's G, G, D, A, right? And on bar 11. Right? So it's right there. So now what I can do is I can just take this, I believe. I can just select them all, hold down my Option key, and I should be able to do this. There we go. Right, and there you go. And now I would map out my whole song like this. So my first chord here is going to be an E. Right, it was an E, and then the first chord here. Oops. Get my tool here, E. Right, so we're going to come down here. It's going to be E. And you can see where it changes here. It's pretty straightforward. Now, I don't even have to do my pencil. I can just take this Option, drag it, and then just change it. Right? So it's E, G, right? Right there. I'll hold the Option key. D. Oops. Sorry. G. Got to select it. D. Right? And then we have Option. This will be A. Down, out, ba, bow. All right, so we want to make sure we get that in there. So it's an A, G, right? Right there. So now we're going to go G. right? Because I think that's how it goes, right? Right, and then we got it right here. And it does that 4 times. So once again, I'm going to take this, I'm going to hold down my shift key, and then I can hold down the option key, and I can just duplicate it, because we wrote a song that was so incredibly sophisticated that it's the same 4 chords throughout the whole song. Right? Hey, that's okay. AC/DC did that through their whole career. All 30 albums or however many they made. And I only think they used 3 chords. And they made some of the best rock and roll ever created. Right? And that's all we do it. So, and again, there's a little bit faster ways to do this, but I'm just trying to show you the process. Again, there's many ways to do things in Studio One. And then we got a chorus, right? Now we can take, which is really the intro, right? It's the intro. So we can just take this, boom, boom, boom. I think you can just also lasso it, but we're just going to do it like this. Option drag, or you can do control. I guess you can do control copy paste, right? You could probably do that too, right? Probably. Let's see, spread this out a little bit. Oops. Come on now. Just select them all like that. All right, so we can get on the 1 here. Now the thing is, if you want to drop these chords in a MIDI instrument, you really got to be right on the grid. Which, again, I don't usually, that's not really what I'm using this for, but I'm doing it to, it's more of a visual cue to map out the whole song here. But if you really wanted to take these chords and drop it on a MIDI instrument, they have to be perfectly in time with the guitar. Which, again, what you can do, I memean, as long as it's super close, I'll show you that in the next video. You can take it, once it's in there, if it's a little off, you just drag the MIDI notes. Again, just in the spirit of trying to work fast. And it holds out on that A. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. There we go. Right, and then we know it's going right back to the E, right back to the intro, right? So again, we could, well, we know it's coming right back here. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where it's going. Okay. Hold down the option key, drag it over. 4 bars. And that's it. And I would do the same thing for the rest of the song, right? Okay. So I'm not, just again, to save the video, what we're going to do here, it does be the same thing. I'm just going to put the chords across all the different sections of the song. Now, when I'm in the next video, when I start playing other instruments and putting on other parts, again, you can use this as kind of a visual, kind of the follow the bouncing ball kind of a thing. And you can do that. Or again, once we get into another instrument, we can take these chords, drag it right down onto a VST, and it'll play the chords that you put in. So if you're not a player, keyboard player, which I'm really not, and you're more of a one finger kind of a guy or gal, this is an easy way to get all your chords there. And then what you can do is go into the MIDI editor and you can edit from there. So I hope that was helpful. And again, continuing on with this little songwriting, song production series, again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And again, make sure you let me know in the comments below if you want me to continue on with these sorts of videos. And we'll continue to build this song out over the next several weeks. I'll try to do a half an hour, 40-minute video each time. And not just how I come up with the parts, but more importantly, how I kind of map things out and just kind of show you my workflow. And then you can take what you want from that workflow, build it into your own workflow. And what you don't like, you don't have to use, obviously. So again, your participation is super important. If nobody watches these videos and participates, then there's no reason for me to continue to do them, because I want to make stuff that you guys are interested in watching. So make sure you let me know in the comments below. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, thanks for watching till the end. Again, go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com, get that free mixing course, right? It's a $100 course I'm giving you absolutely for free. Get that today. And then once you take that course, if you want to take one of my other full-length training courses, and I have everything from recording to mixing to mastering to EQ and compression, everything from beginners, absolute beginners, all the way up through advanced level stuff and everything in between, I want to give you 25% discount coupon code. That coupon code is YouTube25. You put that in at checkout, it'll take 25% off any training course on the website. Go there today, homerecordingmadeeasy.com. And until the next video, I've been Dave with homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next video.